Good evening, Tom Newedner, the conversationalist. How's everybody doing? We're cranking out the last few days of 2024. It's amazing, isn't it? This year just flew by.
It did. Hold on. Bring that mic a little closer to you. Not too far. Just bring the microphone, not the whole thing. Yeah. you could
That
put it.
makes sense.
Yeah, you
How's
could
that
push.
better?
You could push the monitor back out.
How's that better?
There you go. Much better. Yeah.
Anyway, so we're going to talk about 2024, the ups, the downs, the lefts, the rights, everything that you wanted to know or didn't want to remember. How's that sound? But first, let's talk about aortic hope. Our people over there are doing good work. It's closing out at the end of the year. I'm kind of missing some of my regular things that are usually go on during the week. Everybody's taking vacation time off. So I'm kind of jonesing here. And I did get to talk to Dean today. We were talking about what to do with his garden and how to structure better as he's getting older. He's a fellow aortic disease survivor. Uh, One of those people that you meet later in life and you're glad you met. And if you get a chance, go over to Aortic Hope and then click on Dean's Survivor or whatever he has up and see what kind of man he is. If I was a young man, I wouldn't pay attention to him whatsoever. But now that I'm older, I can see the wisdom in what he has to say. Um, Dean is from California, lifelong Californian, and I'm a lifelong East Coaster. So we have a lot of differing views of things, but we're both farmers. How do you like that? He has a small, well, not small. I mean, his garden's probably four times the size of mine, my home garden, but uh, the things he gets to grow, because I'm not in that. He's in like a 2 or 3 zone, and I'm on a 5 zone. So you can tell my crops are a lot more limited than his, but I always like to hear and see what he's doing. And that's the beauty of aortic hope. You get it? People, people helping people. It's as simple as that. So give him some likes, give him some comments, send him some jingle. Aortic hope, doing good things for good people. Also, let's go to St. Jude, the Thomas family. God bless you. Thank you very much for all you do. Closing out 24 with another big year. I know I saw the numbers. You guys are maxing out. I don't know what you're going to do. Maybe you're going to have to put satellite hospitals out, but I know Danny didn't want to do that. He wanted to keep everything under one roof. Now you got 19 roofs. You got a whole campus. So thank you. Thank you for all the lives you save. Thank you for all the cures you've come up with and the research. St. Jude, send them a like and comment and subscribe and send them a jingle. In fact, they got really nice t-shirts. They just changed. I'm going to have to get one because it's a different one than the one I just bought. Same thing with Aortic Hope. They have merchandise. You should check that out. Always fun. I got to get 2 of those things for your seatbelt thing. I promised people I would get them, and I just been lazy about it. Isn't that funny about the end of the year? Think about it. All year long, you're pushing, 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 and you're looking at how many months do I have left over? How many days? What can I get done? Because, once it gets down cold here, it takes me a good hour to get ready because I put on 3 layers and then my snowsuit, my boot warmers, my pocket warmers, my back warmer. If I ever fall in the water, I'm going to electrocute myself. Got all these battery pack warmers because I love the snow. I love the outdoors, but I can't handle the cold anymore. And so I take longer to get ready than the kids do, which has become pretty funny here in 2024. All the kids it's like race grandpa to get ready. But let's start off the year. I'm going to start off with a comedian, Cat Williams. I don't know if you know this dude. If you don't, look him up. This guy speaks the truth, even when it hurts himself. I am so amazed. I always liked him as a comedian. I did get to see him in Harlem when I lived in New York City when he was first coming around. Had my restaurants. We'd go up there and see the comedians. after hours. That's when they were the best. And Cat Williams was one of those stand-up comedians that just, I don't know, it seemed like he didn't rehearse his stuff. He kind of stood there and did his own thing, and it came out beautifully and poignant. He was like a, I know it's not appropriate, but we're not going to deal with problems anymore, right? Where it's 2025, we're going to be better and do better. So Cat Williams is a black Robin Williams. He can give you the truth in a way that you can accept it and understand it. And most of the times he's very matter of fact about it. And I even like when he challenged Joe Rogan. So Cat Williams said, and this was right in the first of the month of the year, he said, 2024 is going to be the year of the truth. Now, he said a lot of things, but when he said this is going to be the year of the truth on Shay Show, in fact, what's going on, Shay? You're picking up a lot of weight, man. Starting to look like Oprah. So Cat Williams says that 2024 is the truth. The truth is going to come out on multi levels. Why? And he said simply because Trump's taken over. And unless Trump gets the truth, he doesn't act. If he feels like there's a fairy tale going on or some other obstruction going on in the verbiage, he doesn't bite that hook. You see? And he's taught the public, you and I, the American taxpayers, we have come around to that too. We don't want to hear the bullshit anymore. We don't want to hear from the politicians. We don't want to hear from bureaucracy. We don't want to hear from the stars. Look at George Clooney. Totally taken off everything in social media, broadcast media. They canceled Ocean's 14. They canceled it because so many people hate George Clooney now for what he said. You can look it up. It's very interesting. I don't have it verbatim, but about 2 weeks ago, he said some stuff that got a lot of people pissed off at him. You know, he couldn't see the handwriting on the wall, right? That's what's wrong with the politicians. That's what's wrong with the broadcast media. They still don't get it. People have voted to move on, to change, to be better than we were, to do better. You understand? 2025 is a chance for us to take back our government, to make us more independent of the federal bureaucracy. I mean, I had a lot of great ideas about how to dismantle this thing, but I can't believe, Elon Musk and Schwami. These guys came up with ideas that I wouldn't even verbalize. Afraid Hillary and the boys would come get me. Get the joke? Hillary and the boys? Forget it. That's another story. Who's got a bigger body count than the snipers in Afghanistan? It's a terrible joke. Hillary, starting with Benghazi. Terrible thing. Terrible. How she got away with not being prosecuted for that, and it was so blatant. It's the protection of the bureaucracy. So then what, here's a funny thing. Who is the only non-player to win a Super Bowl? Ding, ding, ding. Come on. We got to get that Jeopardy music. Ding, 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 ding. Come on. This is an easy one. Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift. She did more for the NFL in 6 appearances than the NFL has done in the last 10 years. Do you understand? It's been slowly just dying, the NFL. And all of a sudden, Taylor Swift comes in, hooks up with a football player, shakes her ass, goes on a world tour. Oh, all right, Molly, get off the steps. I know. I got money. I mean, let's face it. This woman has a beautiful voice, and everybody she breaks up with, she circumcises them with music. They tell you can't. Why anybody would go out with this chick, I don't know. I have no clue. Because if you break up with her, your whole life's going to be out there in a song within 6 weeks. So anyway, so you got her in the NFL. All of a sudden, every soccer mom in the world is watching it. Every Swiftie. You know what a Swiftie is? That's a girl under 16 years old that dresses and talks and acts like Taylor Swift, who's what, 32, 34 now. So, it's a little scary when you see a 12-year-old dressed up in a bustier and a short skirt and stockings and high heels with enough makeup on to be a cake. So, but everybody's cheering. Yay, Taylor. Yeah. I'm sorry. There's a lot better singers than Taylor Swift. Most of them dead. And their songs are still better. Let's talk about another thing. Hold on to your seats, grab your coffee. Understand, this is not coming from me. I'm only reporting on it. Drones. Drones. We have drones flying over power stations and military. Fort Dix, the Air Force Base next to Fort Dix. I can't think of the name of it right now. In Pemberton, New Jersey. Over the city, over Hoboken, which has a whole lot of military sensitive type buildings in Hoboken doing research. We have them flying over the waterways, up and down the Hudson, up and down the Delaware Gap. These are major waterways into New York City that brings in the water that they need to survive every day. We don't know who these people are, according to the military. Can I please say something? And this is truly from the heart. If I'm paying you to protect me, and I ask you, why is this black thing flying over my head? And you say, I don't know why. I'm getting a new one of you because you are not doing your job. Because either you should take that out of the sky or you should find out who owns it and take them out. It's as simple as that. Now, I watched a video where this guy over in Ukraine took out a $4.6 million drone with a stick. He was harvesting corn, and this drone buzzed the field a couple of times. So the third time it came back, he picked up, it looked like a fence post or something long like that. And he just heaved it up there and hit this $4.3 million drone. And that thing just went tumble, 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 and died right there. So 4.3 million taken out with an old fence post. Nice. I like this guy. I want him interviewed. Forget all these generals are interviewing. Interview this guy who took the drone out. Guy in New Jersey. You got to remember, people are so creative. All you got to do is look on the internet and see how creative people can be. I mean, very creative. So he's got a safety net that goes over his pool, keep his grandchildren out of it. So he takes the safety net up onto the roof, attaches it to a pulley system on his neighbor's roof. The drone comes down, sweeps through, and he drops the net on it. He just captured a drone. Who knows how expensive it is? And the way he captured it, it can be investigated, looked at, right? See where the built-in where, like China, is, right? There's always a plate built in somewhere. Let's keep going on this because I'm just having a good time on this stuff. So, once again, this is the state of our military. You got you got people with shotguns out down where my brother lives in South Jersey. Just they can't get drones fast enough. They're so pissed off that the drones are only in North Jersey and not down in the Pineys in Jersey, because all they want to do is take a couple of drones out. These are the guys that wear the overalls with no t-shirt, got a can of beer in his back pocket and one in his hand, got a pocket full of shells, and he's sitting in a broken lawn chair going, waiting for them drones. Well, you can't shoot drones out of the air because you could damage or hurt somebody. Oh no, the way I take it out, it'd be pieces. There'd be nothing coming down but rain in little pieces. Won't hurt nobody. I don't know. This guy's probably using double buck or something. He's going to shred this thing. Be thankful that there's none going down that way. Otherwise, there'd be a lot less drones. So let's talk about Julia Roberts and Robert De Niro and Whoopi Goldberg and Ellen. Who else? I had them all written down. It was just the list got ridiculous. They're all moving away or have moved away. George is over at Lake Como right now in his $8.4 billion luxury mansion on Lake Como, with his own private stone dock that was built by the Romans. Laying on his bed with probably $1 million spread out on the bed so it reminds him he's somebody important, because he's just been totally canceled. Julia Roberts couldn't get a job if she paid for it. Ellen. She got the best looking girlfriend, Porter de Rossi. Oh my God, that good woman's so beautiful. And when she came out as being gay, I was like, how does this work? Do I have to become gay to get a chance with her? I don't know. How does that work? I'm slow and old. Sorry. Not a good joke, but what are you going to do? Take my birthday? So, let's get serious for a minute. The floods from the hurricane. Now, this comes ashore in the Gulf region, right? But for some fluke, it bounces around down there and goes to Asheville, North Carolina, which is in the western part of North Carolina where the Smoky Mountains is. This is a rugged area. I lived in Tennessee for 7 years, right across on the other side of the mountains, the Smoky Mountains. Smoky Mountain National Park in Tennessee, which goes into North Carolina, western North Carolina, which comes out at Ashford, which is only about a 500 foot hole between these two mountains. So everything that comes down on either side of the mountain's got to come through this 500-foot hole. And when it came through, it was about 50 feet deep. And we're not talking just water, we're talking logs and trees and homes and cars and buses washing through this gap. And then washing into Asheville and Cookeville and all that, Chimney Rock and all those places. Just washed them off the face of the earth. I mean, literally, there is nothing left but debris, down trees, broken telephone poles. These people are in desperate need. We've been sending 18-wheelers down through the Sons of Italy and through the church. We've been doing private food drives and clothing, of course. If your house washes away, think about it. You don't have a toothbrush. You have no clothes except the clothes on your back. They were finding bodies in trees, still standing trees. You understand how high the water would have to get a body in a tree? Scary. The scary part is there's 40 acres with an 8-foot fence around it and filled with FEMA trailers and FEMA workers that don't leave the compound. Our president at the time, Joe Biden, and his substitute, Harris, decided that what these people needed was $750. Isn't that wonderful? You lose your house, you lose your cars, you lose your garage, you lose your family, you lose your pet dog. You lose everything. And here comes the government and gives you $750. What are you going to do with that? Might as well start a poker game. Sad, sad, sad. And now people are still in tents and it's cold down there at night. It gets down to 20, 30 degrees. And that's cold, especially for people in North Carolina who aren't used to that kind of cold. They're used to being in a house with wood stove burner. We're presently giving $2,300 to every immigrant, legal, illegal or legal, 3,200 on a card. And that's not the only thing we're giving. We'll give them a cell phone and a tablet so they can find a job. And we're giving them a voucher for where to stay and pays for their whole month, month to month. And we also give them reimburse them for not reimburse them, but enroll them in English classes, socialization classes, to make them more American. You know what made my family more American? Going to work. When they came through Ellis Island and they signed their paperwork saying that they wanted to be an American citizen and that they would uphold the Constitution, you know, things that we don't necessarily make people do anymore. We just put them in a detainment camp and then give them a piece of paper, come back on this day for a court case. Goodbye. See you in 3 years. That's what we're doing. And God bless Trump. He say he's going to deport all these people. He's going to kick the cartels out. He's going to do this and that. Well, I got to the breaking point, not this weekend, the past weekend, 2 weekends ago. I got to the breaking point. I said, there's no way everything can get done. And he wants it done in 3 years. It's just overwhelming. And then along comes Musk and Shivani. And these guys, Musk is like a super mechanic. The guy is the quintessential mechanical engineer. And he's smart, don't get me wrong, but even he admits he'd have a hard time putting in an outlet or a switch. But he can build a rocket ship or a car that runs on electric or dig a hole in the ground. Damn guy snatched a rocket out of the sky with 2 fingers. Great mechanic. And that's simplifying it because that's what I understand. Now, Shivani, where's this guy been all my whole life? Well, obviously he's been making money. And now he's going to take that same entrepreneurial expertise and cut back the government. What changed my mind, whether they could do it or not, was when Shibwami said, we have all the infrastructure to do this. We just have to put these people to work. And then he went on to explain about, we have relocation services, realtors, bed and breakfasts, houses that are vacant that people are just renting out 2 days a month or whatever. He says, we've got the biggest and best moving system that you could have. Have you seen moving trucks around anymore? No. Because now you put everything in a pod, a wooden pod or a metal pod, and you ship it off. Sometimes it goes to a storage facility. Sometimes it goes to your new home. We don't load moving trucks anymore. That's for, big jobs, offices moving and things like that. Shwami said, we got all the infrastructure we need. We can do this. And we can do it at the private level. So somebody's making money. Well, we're saving money on this end and we're getting the job done that nobody thought we could get done. Guy's smart, man. Wow. Wow. Guy is just brilliant. Just to come up with that idea has got to be like, how the heck did he do that? Excuse me. I'm running out of power here. Anyway, let me just say, we're about 23 minutes in. PAD, peripheral artery disease. It's become almost a challenge to me now. When I'm in the hospitals or doing presentations or going through the nursing schools or upstate medical's educational facility here and doing my presentations, I think it's as important as aortic disease. Why? Because people are getting things cut off their body when they don't have to. There is a whole school of doctors who make a ton of money cutting off bits and pieces of your body because you have diabetes or thyroid or aortic disease or whatever. You understand? They get paid a ton of money to cut parts up, and they start with the toes and they work their way up, and as they go up, it gets more expensive. And then you have this small group of people yelling into the box here, guess what? We can fix this. We can put balloons in there and wires and clean that stuff out and get the blood flow back, which regenerates the nerves. Please, please. Kim is a great presentation of knowledge and expertise. Her doctor she has on a very easy to understand. Her nurse practitioners, especially the dietitians, Deirdre and those people, they're fabulous. I asked one question on salt, and they did 3 hours, 3 different presentations on salt. And I asked one question about salt because I actually got my salt lower than, what they wanted. I put myself in some trouble. You got to have a certain amount of salt. And when somebody told me I can't have any salt, I didn't have any. Every can was inspected, So I overdid it. So I had to get salt back in my system. But who does that? Ooh, that's the greatest service I can tell you. Peripheral artery disease is a quiet killer, and it kills you by taking bits and pieces of you. Why would you not investigate everything you could? So go see Karen and her group of minions. Give them a like and subscribe, and make sure, come on, guys, send a little donation. If you find something that's doing good, please reinforce it by sending something that helps them get on with the project. And it doesn't have to be $1 million, whatever you can afford. Maybe I'm always telling my kids, just take the money you would have spent for Starbucks and stick it in an envelope. The next time you're in the grocery store and you see an old couple struggling, hand them the envelope and walk away. That act of kindness will make you feel great and will help somebody else out. And it's real easy to do. Isn't it a shame? We, as American people, we have gone so far off course since the 80s. And now we have an opportunity to pull it back on this train back on the railroad tracks. However, there is a group of people that are bound and determined to keep everybody fighting amongst themselves about little shit, black and white shit, Asian shit, Jewish shit. That's all they report on is conflict in America, and we have to be better than that. We have to tell the mainstream media, we don't need you focusing on the bad. We need you to focus on solutions. And if you can't, you didn't get the memo, so get out. Simple as that. Same thing with the politicians, the bureaucrats. Your time is over. Go quietly or go in cuffs, but go. You've been sitting in an office in Washington, D.C., in the Hoover building. You're an FBI agent, but you've never been out of the Hoover building. 70,000 people work in the Hoover building. What are those people doing? If we have such a problem with it, cartels and all that stuff, why are these people not in the field? Chiwami asked that question. They gave him blank looks. It was the best news conference I ever seen. See all these bureaucrats with their blank looks. But yet there are groups of people, Black Lives Matter, white militants, all those guys. If they don't keep the arguing going on between white and black and Asians and Jews and Palestinians and whatever, the next one is fur babies. I love fur babies. They're going to riot and take over the world. When can we do better? We don't need this aggravation. We have too much to regain in our country and to live our lives. Never in my life did of all the scenarios I thought of when I got older, what was going to happen, none of it happened. But everything that's happened has been more insidious. It's the difference between getting slapped in the back of the head and getting punched in the face. They just slapped us silly. They didn't even need to punch us in the face. In fact, they didn't want to punch us in the face, might get us attention. So they just keep slapping us in the back of the head until we'll say yes to anything. But that's all changing, right? So getting back to Cat Williams, he said 2024 was going to be the year of truth. The truth about P. Diddy and the truth that we're not going to see the Kennedy papers, the truth about Nancy Pelosi and how she got all her money, Hillary Clinton and the body count. All the truths are coming out. All these individuals in Hollywood that make mega bucks for doing what? For acting, for lying to us about who they are. Football players, basketball players, baseball players, playing a kid's game, getting paid enormous salaries. And then they're caught with drugs or abusing women. Dude, if you're making $6-7 million a year in a 11-year contract, you better be in church when you're not on the field. Thanking God you got that kind of position in life. I wish somebody would hand me that kind of money for playing poker. You know? You have to understand that the majority of the people in the United States are so desperate right now and frustrated with everything that's going on that we're killing CEOs of company. Not only are we killing them with guns, we're killing them with heart attacks. I couldn't imagine the pressure of somebody stealing that much money, or somebody's telling 16% of the people you insure, we're not going to pay for you. That's got to do something to you. What are you, a robot? I'm very interested in seeing how the change takes place. I know it's going to take place because people want it. And people haven't wanted this in so long because they were numb. They had too much on their plate and they couldn't deal with it. Well, you know what? Trump came in office and said, screw this. You're going to have to deal with it. We're going to have to get our country back. And that's basically what he said. I mean, you can go through all the rhetoric, but his idea is just bring the country back in line like you would do your own budget, your own management of your house, the management of your car. If you hired somebody to mow your lawn, that's somebody you have to manage. And that's what Trump's doing. He's a businessman slash politician slash game show host. Uh, smart as a whip, has a comeback. I swear to God, he does the same thing I do. He stands in front of his mirror at 4 o'clock, anticipating questions and coming up with answers, and trying to do that nonchalant look as he's destroying your whole world with a 4-word, 10-syllable answer that just makes you shrink into the garbage can. I mean, the way he does reporters and goes, "Do you really have a question?" Because that's not a question. I mean, he doesn't. If he doesn't want to answer the question, he downs the person, shoots him down like an airplane. Don't you love when he said, "Oh, I'll solve the problem in Ukraine. I'll solve the problem in Haiti. I'll solve the problem wherever you want me to solve it." He said, "But two things going to happen though. You're not going to like the solution, and it's going to cost you time and money." He says, "But as long as it's not American time and money, who cares?" Even Putin got the message. He's talking a completely different game. Isn't that amazing? Just a hint of Trump coming in gets everybody working together. How do you like? Oh, yeah. How do you like these North Korean soldiers? Anywhere between 10 and 50,000 are supposedly in this war now. One owner guns, never been shot. That's what they're saying. They're so incompetent. They actually shelled their own position about a week ago. The Russians are shelling them too. They're putting them out there like cannon fodder, and just both sides are killing them. Isn't that terrible? Here you go from that repressive regime that finally put you on a train and send you for the next 8 days across Russia to get to Ukraine to die or to just surrender because you don't want to go back to North Korea. I was watching the interviews on a the German American news station, and the North Korean, they had an interpreter, and the guy said, "I have nothing in North Korea. I have more here. I have better food. I have a comfortable bed to sleep in." This is a North Korean captain. What are you going to do, Pa, when they see the big city lights? Are they going to come back to the farm? I don't think so. Oh, well. Let's clean this up. Let's bring it out because it's been about 42 minutes, and I don't want to go an hour anymore because people say an hour's too long. 2024 is out the door. 2025 is in. 01012025. Do better, be better. Understand that we all have a part in this, getting us back to the country we want to be, getting us back to the people we want to be. If you see somebody in a racial argument, say something. Be better. If you see somebody mistreating somebody else, it doesn't absolutely have to be a woman or a child. It could be an older person. Whatever it is. Don't pick up your phone. Stop the incident. There'll be plenty of other people pick up the phone. But you, stop the incident. Be better. Do better. Do active kindnesses. I mean, everybody needs them. You could be the richest person in the world. If you're having a bad day and somebody does an act of kindness, even a small thing, like holding the door or catching your papers before they hit the ground or letting you go first in line. I mean, these are all simple things you can do, but it will definitely make you feel better and good about yourself. And it might make that person a little bit softer and amenable. You have this opportunity, just like I have it. And I'm going to work on me, just like I'm asking you to work on you. I'm looking forward to 2025. I have some changes I want to make in the format. I know we have a corporate meeting. Isn't that wonderful? We have a corporate meeting. And the first time I don't have to be at them. Isn't that wonderful? Want to thank Josh. Josh, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be doing half of what I'm doing now on the internet. You know, I even figured out how to get the camera on. Isn't that funny? I had to figure out how to put the camera on, so I just rebooted it twice. You know, it's unplug it, plug it back in. What we've been doing with computers ever since they came out. I'm thankful for my family and friends. I appreciate my life and the lives of the people around me that make who add color and character to my life. I've always said the best friends and the best people to be involved with are the people that add color and character to your life. If they're just like you, if they're just rubber stamping you, there's no challenge in that. Well, my friends, enjoy your new year. If you're in New York State, watch out. Got every trooper and sheriff's officer, security officer, constable, dog catcher out with a radar gun. Be careful. I saw at least a half a dozen people pulled over today because we intersect at 3 major highways here and everybody goes everywhere. You know, because we have valleys here where a lot of it's mountainous range. So it all kind of just funnels in here for about 4 miles and then branches out across the rest of the state. But it is determined. And these cops are not fooling around. They were on a DOT truck with a yellow vest on and a radar gun, and you got probably 3 miles down the road and they were pulling you over. So you didn't even know you got whacked. So be careful. Drink in moderation. If not, have a designated driver. Don't do the stupid things that we used to do. I want to see you in 2025. To all my friends at Aortic Hope and St. Jude, thank you for making my year wonderful. Wonderful. Your 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 input into my life has been nothing but monumental. I want to say to Dean and Rob, thank you. Most enjoyable, Rob. Great chef. Dean, you are definitely the philosopher that I was looking for. Uh, your words are gold and they run on like water. Karen, thank you for doing aortic hope. Kim, thank you for PAD, peripheral artery disease. Josh, thanks for pushing the buttons. We're going to be down shortly to see you, me and the Celtic Witch. And that's it. So I'm Tom Neuwetner, the conversationalist, along with Josh, the Wizard of Oz. Nobody gets in to see the wizard. And like and subscribe, comment. Don't send me any money. I have more money than I need, but I do need your comments and you share these videos because it's important to me that this is successful. Once again, Tom Neuwetner, conversationalist. I'm out.